18, and now I am a PhD student at the University of Texas at Austin.
My name is Gary Ellis. My thesis topic is on a site in Grafton, Massachusetts on the Hassanamiska Reservation, revolving around a family of one of the original proprietors of this land sale that occurred there in 1728.
My name is Katie Reinhardt, and I am a first year in the program. My academic interests are 17th century foodways and households. I do have my thesis topic. I will be doing a 17th century house in Marshfield, Massachusetts. It was originally excavated by a CRM firm, but because of the preservation level, I am actually planning to hopefully do a spatial analysis of the macrobotanical remains that were recovered.
Hi, my name is Drew Webster. I graduated in 2016. I am getting a PhD right now at the University of Maryland in College Park. For my master's thesis, I worked with collections at the Boston City Archaeology Lab, looking at an immigrant tenement in the North End neighborhood of Boston.
My name is Nicholas Densley, and I am in my first year. I'm interested in social inequality and looking at marginalized communities and maybe working to create narratives that can repair some of the damage that's been done. So when I went to go look for a master's program, this one had been on my mind because I was interested in living in Boston.
I found out about the Historical Archaeology Master's Program because when I was a senior in college, I did the Plymouth Field School with David Krista, and I had such a great experience doing that and just loved every second of it that I decided to apply to the program the following year.
I originally learned about the Historical Archaeology Masters at UMB through my advisor in my undergraduate years. And actually, it's kind of a funny story. I originally applied here in 2014 and was rejected. And then I spent, because I was sad, I was like, you know what, I'm gonna do this thing and I'm gonna figure my stuff out. And I took 5 years working in the field, and now I got accepted last year.
One of my undergraduate advisors had sent a few students this way before and knew that the program had a good reputation for historical archaeology and really trained its students well in the methods and theories that we would need to know to be successful in the field.
It was always on my radar as an undergrad. I knew people who went, but my final full-time job before I came here, both my bosses were alumni, and they pretty much told me to come here. And I say yes because I always wanted to come to Boston. I knew it was a very historically rich city, and I kind of wanted to experience it.
Unlike many master's programs, they offered some financial support for the students, which was really helpful.
I've heard so many horror stories before from some of my other peers about getting into masters or PhDs and not getting any funding at all.
Well, definitely the funding helps. Not many master's programs will give you money.
Another thing I liked about the program was that it was a historical archaeology focused program, so I could get a lot of specialist knowledge from a lot of people who were doing the kind of archaeology that I wanted to do, as opposed to having a larger anthropology program in which there might only be 1 or 2 historical archaeologists on staff. One thing that I really enjoyed as a student in the historical archaeology program were the specific and focused methods classes that we got to take. We got to learn artifact analysis. We spent a few days on ceramics and a few days on glass. We took a whole different class on environmental archaeology, and we were really able to get into some of these artifact categories in a nice level of detail.
A major draw was being able to learn the technical kind of methodologies that I wanted to learn. I wanted to do the pollen analysis, and I wanted to do paleoethnobotany. And having Heather Trigg here, she was the best advisor ever, and I was able to learn all of that stuff.
And I think that one of the strengths of the program is that you're able to focus and go into some of these historical archaeology topics way more in depth than you might be able to elsewhere.
I think the major strength of this program is the faculty.
The professors here are really wonderful. I learned so much here.
There's somebody who specializes in everything, so no matter the question, you have somebody that you can reach out to and they'd be glad to help.
There's a wide variety of knowledge bases to work from with the professors. To people that do faunal analysis, macrobotanical analysis, pollen analysis, African diaspora, all sorts of things.
The connections that you're going to make in this program with the brightest minds in historic archaeology is something that you can't really put a value on.
Honestly, just like the students here are really phenomenal. The environment here is very intellectually exciting, and just the fact that everybody is really passionate and enthusiastic about archaeology, I felt like I found my people.
We've all started to really get along and really support each other, which is really important. You know, the workload is hard, but it's also really important that we're all there for each other. And I think at the end of the day, I don't think I'd be able to get through this program properly without my cohort. The big opportunity that I've had here at UMass is working at Plymouth Plantation and their digital collections. They're trying to organize and curate some of the older collections, and part of my work and here at UMass is getting to help them with that.
I've had the opportunity in my first year to experience a couple of different educational opportunities, in that my first semester here I was working as a research assistant, which was lab work. This semester I'm working as a teaching assistant. So those are two sort of parts of being a professional archaeologist that I think play out really well in being able to, try your hand at two different sides of what we're going to end up doing.
The education I got here really did prepare me quite well for my PhD program.
The process of doing a thesis at the master's level helped prepare me to apply for PhD programs, because I was able to demonstrate that I had experience doing a larger scale research project independently.
CRM and academia are two such different worlds. It was really important for me to come back and be grounded in some of the theory after I'd gotten those years of work, actually doing it on the ground and in the ground. So I think in that way it's made me a more well-rounded archaeologist and given me a better perspective on which to analyze materials. Right now I'm planning to go back into CRM. Ideally, I would really like to teach at the end of it all and get a PhD, but right now I'm really happy doing CRM work because I think it's really valuable work.
My time here prepared me just through the different work projects that I've been put on or have been a part of, including field work at numerous sites in New England and different lab duties.
There's a good balance of kind of learning methodologies and learning theory. So I barely knew what archaeological theory was coming from undergrad, so being here and kind of being exposed to these writers kind of gave me a really good base to then build off of that.
Doing a thesis at UMass Boston really gave me the experience and skill set to conduct research out either in a PhD program or outside of academia in the real world archaeology land of jobs. So. One piece of advice I would give anyone considering a postgraduate program is to really think about your interests and your research interests and look at the different types of programs that are out there to try to see which one of those might meet your needs the best. For me, I came to UMass Boston because it was a tightly focused historical archaeology program that would give me a lot of the methodological training that I wasn't able to get at my undergraduate institution.
Visit the campus. Meet with current students, first and foremost. Meet with the faculty as well. I think that gives you a really good perspective, and also then they get to see your face and that helps them make their decision. That is one of the biggest deciding factors for me, and I think it's one of the things that helped me gain traction here.
The people that you select to write your letters of recommendation mean a lot. That your writing sample means a lot, and the biggest piece of information I would give you is in your time between whatever program you're ending and this program starting, don't get soft with your reading.
Be prepared for it to be really hard, but also be prepared for it to be really rewarding.
Yay! I hope some of that is usable.